Hey everyone, Mango7Roll here. How we doing today? Welcome to another episode of Epic 7, and we have a lot to talk about today. We did get a lot of spoilers coming up. Unfortunately, not much about the GG collab. We did kind of get shafted on that end, IMO, but the rest of the information is fantastic, and I'm really excited to share it with you. So just to be really quick about the GG situation right now, the first week we are getting Baiken and Sol, and the banners are the exact same as they were before, so Baiken torn sleeve. And then Sol is going to be free, they did mention that. Second week we're going to be getting Dizzy, and Dizzy's whatever artifact it was, I don't think it turned out too great. And then the third week we are getting Elfelt, so that means we're getting 3 weeks before we get something essentially new for a new player. And that was really sad to me, but luckily, they redeemed themselves with the rest of the stream, and let's take a look at like 5 different awesome things to look at. And I was confused as to why they were doing stuff like SC Raz and the Iceria skin, and the reason is we have 2 weeks of nothing, in quotes, for the people who have been playing for a while. So that kind of fills in the gap for those people like me, so that's why they decided to do everything at once. Anyways, let's take a look at this first. Yeah, you see who that is. That's Destina in her skin. Oh, look at those feats. There she is. Okay, beautiful, beautiful skin. Love the roses, or whatever they are. I guess they're roses. Everything about it looks awesome. I'm definitely going to be going for this skin. I thought there was a more zoomed out version. Nope, there's not a more zoomed out version in this one here. But yeah, this is what she looks like. Obviously going to be a skin. It is going to be through the Epic Pass, like all the other ones were. I think I have a picture here somewhere. Yeah, here's what the full one looks like. I like the coloration in her. I don't even know like what that coloration is, but she's got kind of like the rainbowy style. Not rainbow, but like the lighter colorations on her legs. I think that's really sweet. This is coming in through the Epic Pass for sure after the maintenance tomorrow, and it's there for an entire month, so that's fantastic. Make sure you pick this up if you plan to use Destina at all, or just pick it up because it's flippin' cool. We have some other improvements and additions here. This one, we've seen basically all of this before except for the bottom 2. One of them is they are changing the Guild War season, or not the season, the Guild War way draws worked. It was really stupid, where draws basically meant a win and you could go in and just tank it and then hit draw and win after, which is just super weird to me. I do think they need to take a look at this Guild War system again. For me personally, it feels like Guild Wars are a lot less Guild Wars now and more just like 1v1ing people. It feels like I feel like there's a lot more a lot less coordination now, since you don't have to beat the towers first to beat the main stronghold stuff. So I really wish they keep like reiterating how they do this one, and that's my thoughts on that. But this is a step in the right direction, having the victory and a draw be 90 points instead of the 120. And we also have World Arena bugs fixes and improvements. From what I heard from that, they're gonna stop your skills disappearing and a bunch of other like random crashes and bug fixes, obviously, that needed to happen in World Arena. I personally never ran into it, but I know a lot of other people did, depending on your device, so hopefully this makes it much more stable for you. Next, let's look at the next one. Wow, Adventure Raz. So this is one I wasn't sure about. I wasn't sure what they were going to do for SC Raz, and I'm pretty stoked about it. Stop me. So not only does he look baller, he looks really sweet. Let's go forward here. He's got some pretty cool stuff. So we can see this screenshot here. He's got the imprint as well, nothing else on this screen. I'm just trying to skip through all the talking. You should watch this yourself. I will link it in the description below. If you like to hear like some backstory on the VA and some story on Raz and some reasoning, drawing and stuff like that. Here's somewhere. Here we go. So first off, we have Adventurer Raz, his skill 3. Instead of Sword of the Air, it is Purifying Flame. This is now AoE here. and also increases defense of all allies for 2 turns, so not just himself, this is everybody, and proportionate to caster's max health as well. This is a really solid change. Getting a defense buff for the whole team is something not a lot of people can do. There's like Alencia, there's Crow, there's a couple other people, but in general you don't see defense buff too much, and it really is nuts for what it can add to a team. So let's scroll into the next part here. We've got some rune introductions they're going to skip to now. So the first one is 20% max health, which is pretty good. 25% max effectiveness, which is really good as well. I'm not sure if this is going to be a PvE or a PvP unit or a little bit of both, but 25% means you're pretty much just under halfway there. I guess closer to a little over a third of the way there to capped effectiveness for PvE, so that's fantastic. And then just a solid 5% ER, some plot armor for the whole team. For that rune. But the best rune coming up next year is 6 base speed. Always love speed. 6 speed is good. That is great. Can't argue with that. Next ability here. Sorry for clicking through this. I just don't want to watch it because there's a lot of talking. Purifying Flames. This one shows it. Here's some more runes for this. This is a 100% chance to increase the combat readiness of the caster by 20% every time he uses skill 3. And also a 50% increase health recovered when he purifying flame. Also 100%, not 50. I always get confused on these. I'm always like, does it go from 20% to 30% to 50%? No, it's 20 plus 30 plus. So we'll see some more stuff coming soon. There's more coming. He's actually got a juicy kit. When the reveal was happening, a lot of people were confused because like that didn't seem like good enough. But anyways, we already saw this one. Here we go. Command Strike. So this is the juicy one here. This is the one that I think is kind of going to define him and make him either really good or really useful depending on where he ends up being used. And this is because his dual attack can trigger a defense break with a 60% chance when using his dual attack. And that is insane because that means when you dual attack in, you get that 60% chance to defense break. And then the dual attack comes in and just bullies whatever he's hitting. I think that's really, really, really good, both for PvE and for PvP. He also has a 100% chance to grant immunity to the caster and the ally with the highest attack for 2 turns when using Command Strike. So really, 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 really good ability now. And I think this is fantastic. And there's still more. There's still more here. We've already seen this one. Come on, come on. Oh, they show the defense break. This I want to show because they do show it getting hit by defense break and then coming in with a combo attack. That time it was a defense break, but whatever. There's one more cross slash from Chrono Trigger here. We've got 10% increased damage dealt and has a 100% chance to increase the combat readiness of the caster by 10% and also dispels a debuff as well. Pretty cool. So that's his kit right there. He's got a lot of everything. I think he looks great. I think he's got a very versatile kit. And I think he's probably going to be worth building, if only because he doesn't take Mulagora. You can build him just with Stigma. I think he will be a solid slot for some PvP battles, having that Fire Knight in there that can provide you some tankiness, can provide you some dispels, can provide you some defense downs. Because with a defense down on your team on a tanky unit, you can kind of bruiser people out in Guild War until you randomly get that defense break and get that kill. So really happy with him. I'm really, really, really happy with him. I wasn't sure what they were going to do, but I'm really glad they did this because he seems really great and I'm really happy. It's good. A-okay. Next up is something nobody's going to be predicting. I had zero idea this was coming. Actually, we'll show this one last. Next up is going to be the Tenebria skin. So this is the concept art of the Specter Tenebria skin, and the most important part about this is at the bottom, one of these 2 things right here. One of these 2 things right here. Also, shout out to Tenha. I think this is from Tenha's stream being translated. Super shout out to him. Also, her feet are covered, lol. But this is the Specter Tenebria skin for RTA. But one thing I noticed, World Arena, sorry, not RTA. One thing I noticed is at the bottom, it said that you can buy this in the skin shop later. So I think you're going to be able to purchase this without doing World Arena at all. I may be incorrect on that, don't quote me, but that's what it said and that's what it read like. So I feel like in the future, maybe not right away, but maybe a little after the season, you'll be able to just purchase this with dollars, you know, just straight up buy it instead of doing any World Arena. And I know a lot of people would rather pay money than jump into World Arena. Anyways, let's go into the important one here. And here we go. Nobody was expecting it. We were expecting, like, I don't even know what I was expecting, but it wasn't Haste. And Haste really excites me. Haste's VA is Abby Trott. Absolutely amazingly amazing VA. She sings the Smash theme song for the recent game, and everything about it is awesome. But I'm not sure about his kit. I'm not saying he's bad. We'll see his kit as we go, but I'm unsure of how they handled it because, surprise, surprise, he's another counter target unit, and that feels bad as an ML5.
For stupid toys.
So cool, so cool. So that's his ability here. Let's take a look at his stats, and his stats are a little iffy. He's a Soul Weaver. I don't know if you expected that, but he is a Soul Weaver. Attack percent in the back 2 slots for his imprint there. He is a Soul Weaver, and he's got 98 speed. He's a slow boy, which is kind of weird because Haste is a fast boy, but he's slow. Imprint concentration, health percent, he's got 798 defense. That's really high. 5500 health, actually not high at all, I don't think. 620 attack, really low, and 98 speed. So overall, pretty trash base stats, but he is a Soul Weaver. They always seem to get just kind of wrecked for base stats. And his skill introduction. So, Moon Slash attacks with the scythe, recovering health of all allies, penetrates defense, but cannot trigger a critical hit. Damage dealt and amount recovered increases proportionate to the caster's max health. Damage dealt suffered from allies or by allies by 10% when the skill is available. Damage decreased, I mean, when more than one damage reduction effect is granted, only the strongest effect is applied. This is on a 5-turn cooldown when it's skilled up, I believe, or 6. I can never remember which is which here. And interesting skill. It does have damage, I think. He's like a damage dealing Soul Weaver that can't crit. It does have that passive damage decrease, so when he doesn't go first turn, he is able to get that 10% reduction right off the bat without even really doing anything, just by being there, because he's not going first with 98 speed. And yeah, cool, I like it. And it also heals allies. We're not really sure by how much yet, but that's not the important part of him. The important part is the next skill, Grudge. When an enemy is revived, grants all allies a barrier and immunity for 1 turn and resets the cooldown of Moon Slash. Barrier strength increases proportionate to caster's max health. That's insane. That's a really, really good ability. And this is another one of those, let's make a character to target this other character because this other character is good, and instead of nerfing it, let's just make another ML5 and just do a little cycle here and jump around in circles and jump through hoops to try to balance a game. Don't like this strategy at all for balancing. I hate this strategy, actually, but does not mean I will not be pulling for Haste, because I will be, but this is really good. And there's a couple of reasons why this is really good. One is because when this is revived, it resets the cooldown of Moon Slash, and we saw with Moon Slash there, it makes it so you take 10% less damage with the skill being available. So that's automatically that up there too. So after you proc it, the barrier is massive. It's absolutely massive. It's not some puny barrier. It is a massive, massive barrier. It can eat up Arbiter Vildreds for breakfast, and it gives you immunity, so you can't even get hit debuffed or anything like that. Really, really good. I think this is less good versus Maid Chloe, but still really good because you still reset your skill 3, and depending on how much damage he does, that could cause a lot of problems for them. But in general, this is really just a screw you Arbiter Vildred 100%. And I love it. I love it and I hate it, and I love it and I hate it. I'm not sure yet. But either way, that's a sick ability. Really, really good ability. It also is potentially really good for PvE too. We saw with abilities like this that actively try to counter specific things like Rwana, they can randomly just dominate PvE situations to the point where you can just hit auto, close your eyes, go to the bathroom, and use like level 1 units with them. So that's something we need to look out for too, whether or not he just completely decimates certain PvE encounters. Because there's a lot of times when enemies are revived, you're full healed, skills are off cooldown, you're taking less damage, you've got immunity, you've got a massive barrier. So good. That said, no dispels on this kit, which is really, really, really bad. Also, unbuffable kind of causes problems here. It means your thing's not gonna do anything, but still really solid. And his skill 1, I'm not sure what to think about his skill 1. I'm never really happy with dispels on skill 1 just because defense break or something like that is so good, but having the dispel there is obviously not a bad thing. And most importantly, I think, is having the utility of the 100% chance with effect resist burn for only 10 souls. I do think that's fantastic. So that's kind of cool. The other really great thing about Blood Scythe here is it's 100% chance to dispel. So it's happening every time if you have effectiveness to land it. But again, the problem is this is the only thing that actually has any need for effectiveness, right? So you're not going to be wanting to build him with any effectiveness because nothing else uses it. And he's a greedy soul weaver with stats. But that's where the soul burn comes in. We've got that 10% or 10 soul, 100% effect resistance there. So I really do like this. I really do like this, and I'm not sure how it's going to work. But I'm happy to see this. Maybe it'll help get rid of like attack buff here and there. So yeah, that is a lot of stuff. So that is pretty insane amount of stuff. There's also some other things coming, like Nick Seed is opening up, the hunt changes, all these other shenanigans are coming. We already knew that already. I wanted to kind of talk about the new things. So I think that's gonna be it. I will be summoning for Blood Moon Haste. I'm 70 away from Pity right now, so I'm 100% gonna get him. I will probably spend money to get him. I haven't spent money on Mystics in a long time, or spent money period in a long time. But if the month is going away and I'm not going to get him yet, I'm probably going to pull out the credit card. Haven't done it in like a year. And I just really like Haste, and I really, really, really like the VAs. So I really want this person on my team. So yeah, pretty sweet, right? Like, I'm pretty happy about most of these things. I'm a little sad we're not going to see Elfelt for another 2 weeks, I think. I think it said the 13th or something like that, until we see what Elfelt's skills look like. It might have been the 7th, but I think it was the 13th. So it'll be a while to know what they're gonna be. But for everybody who was here last year for the GG collab, we've got so many days, so many weeks. We have 3 weeks of saving, I think, before we get something in quotes new. So that's something to consider. Also, I forgot to mention, to go along with the Destina skin, we're also getting a Destina / Shamadra Staff banner. Don't think it's worth summoning on, really, unless you have everything else already. Shamadra Staff is a fantastic artifact right now, especially for Rwana, especially for most Soul Weavers. It's a really good artifact. But with so many cool things coming, I wouldn't risk it. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe as always, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye, everybody!